The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
You're listening to the Alldus podcast, ServiceNow series. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Gordon Hazzard. Gordon is the GRC Practice Lead at Wholepoint Systems. Gordon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we're delighted to have you. So, Gordon, let's start with yourself, please, as we do with all of our guests. Could you give us an overview of your background in technology and what your journey has been from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and what's led you to where you are today as the GRC Practice Lead at Wholepoint Systems?
So I graduated from college at Rose-Hulman, got a software engineering degree, and knew I didn't want to be specifically coding all day in and out. So I got a job at a consulting firm specializing in the GRC space, more from a functional side. So the first 2 or 3 years of my career, we were performing a lot of the GRC functional items like assessments, control analysis, issue resolution, finding management. And then from there, started to transition towards the ServiceNow space, specifically the platform implementation, so I could leverage some of that software engineering background to really help customers achieve their goals. So I've been in the industry for probably about 10 years now, nearing up there. And over time, just growing through the pipeline of starting out, implementing the system to managing projects. I started getting involved in a lot of like the sales initiatives and things of that nature, and then ultimately wound up here as a practice lead.
So you touched on your path that's led you to Wholepoint Systems. So let's set the stage. Tell us all about Wholepoint Systems as a business, who you are, what you do, mission of the business.
Absolutely. So at Wholepoint, we specialize in the holistic end-to-end delivery of ServiceNow solutions across a variety of different areas. I think our focus primarily is the CMDB, IT operations management, IT asset management, ITAM, and then of course, my focus areas of GRC and SecOps. We specialize primarily in the federal space at the moment, but we are branching out into some of those commercial sectors. And then personally, I've served clients all sizes across a variety of industries, financial services, healthcare, energy, insurance, state, local government, federal government. So we can do everything from that perspective, but specifically with GRC, it's primarily the risk management, policy and compliance management modules, as well as some business continuity and then third-party risk management.
And you touched on it there in your introduction. Wholepoint as a business has a fairly significant focus on the federal space, which is where we're seeing an incredible adoption of ServiceNow as a platform.
Absolutely.
As the practice lead for GRC, you have high-level oversight of some of the interesting implementation projects. Now, I know there's certain NDAs, so we can't disclose the end user in many cases, but can you give us some insight into the types of federal and government organizations who are coming to Wholepoint? What are their needs, and what are you guys able to do for them from top to bottom for full ServiceNow implementation?
So there, especially in the federal space, there's been an interest in the continuous authorization and monitoring module. So that's a newer module that ServiceNow has put out within the past few years. And really it helps them execute their authority to operate process. So all of their different systems need to go through that ATO process to be authorized and be in use. And so what ServiceNow did with their CAM solution, that continuous authorization and monitoring, is really build that end-to-end workflow to document the authorization boundaries, drive it through that process of implementing and inheriting controls, evaluating those things, and ultimately arriving at that SSP, along with some monitoring capabilities at the end. So you can have that continuous monitoring of those and correlate all the different assets and things from CMDB, SecOps. So you have all that information at your fingertips in a one-stop shop. So that's really been a focus area for a lot of the government agencies. I would say too, like beyond that, just general GRC, they're still focused there too from a business continuity standpoint or third-party risk, so supply chain risk management. That's been a huge focus area. And really what we do is we come in and we help from an end-to-end perspective implement and set up the system. So a client wants to implement ServiceNow, we help them with the requirements and design phase where we're really understanding their core business needs. From there, we'll go through a configuration cycle where we're actually setting up the system in accordance with those requirements and interfacing with them and all stages along the way. So we're having those weekly, sometimes bi-weekly configuration review cycles just to help get them familiar with the tool, as well as ensure that we're progressing in alignment with where they want to see it go, that long-term vision. And then we'll engage in some user acceptance testing with the team, help validate that the configuration successfully meets those requirements, and then provide a lot of training. Like training's a big component of a successful ServiceNow implementation. It's one thing to have the tool, but you don't want it to just become shelfware, something it's nice and fancy that just sits on the shelf and no one's really using it. So we really help provide the user guides and the hands-on training that the stakeholders need to really operate the system and transition to ServiceNow for those particular workflows. And then from there, we want to take a holistic approach, again, with that goal in mind of long-term success. So we like to help our clients for the long term with some support and operation maintenance as it goes on. So over time, the requirements and things that the software needs to do are going to evolve, and we want to be there to help them as those needs arise.
As someone who's been in the ServiceNow ecosystem for quite a number of years now, you've obviously progressed yourself within your own career, but you've seen the progression of ServiceNow and the increased demand. Looking at the past 5-6 years of your own journey to where you are now in a senior leadership position, and you look at the increased demand, what are some of the standout things you've noticed over the past 5 years, why it's been so successful? And specifically within the federal space, why is ServiceNow so popular? Why is it in such high demand for many of these government and federal agencies?
It's really the power of the platform, which has been there all along. Having your CMDB or something like that inside of ServiceNow, where all of your different processes are starting to centralize, it just allows them to use a unified technology to conduct their different exercises. So all of the data already lives in ServiceNow, so it just makes sense to do your different assessment activities and planning within the platform as well. For example, like business continuity management, when you're building out your impact assessments or your continuity plans, you're referencing the CMDB a lot. So if that's already in ServiceNow, that native integration that ServiceNow has with the CMDB from BCM, it just makes sense. You can pull in that info right away. It's fresh, it's real time, and it just provides that kind of lens. And they've done a lot with their UI too, in terms of providing some workspaces and some advanced features and automation to allow them to get the work done quicker, because processes like that ATO process can take a while without automation. By automating it, it really helps them save time and maximize their efficiency.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
I know there's a lot of publicity of late about our ServiceNow and its progression towards AI implementation and really leaning into aspects of automation. From where you sit in Wholepoint, who are already a premier ServiceNow partner, what are some of the things that you're excited about to work on as the GRC Practice Lead on existing and upcoming projects when you look at 2024?
So they really have started to invest in their AI and machine learning capabilities just as a platform. And as those start getting introduced into the GRC area, it's really going to help automate some of the control assignment, control evaluation processes to where those are the efficiency that you get there is going to be next level. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. It's really going to help streamline some things.
I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the team that you oversee and the varied backgrounds. I know Wholepoint as a business does a great job of promoting ServiceNow as a technology stack, and also within the federal space. There's a whole section on your website about transitioning military, encouraging people to get into this space. So could you talk to us about the team that you oversee, the background, the culture, and what it's like day to day to work on one of these projects with you guys and the broader team of different departments?
We're a thriving company. We're definitely in the growth phase, so definitely looking for good people. But in general, a lot of us have a functional background in addition to the technical background, and that's really what helps set us apart when we're providing these engagements and things and these services to our clients. Having that functional knowledge in addition to being able to configure the platform is critical for us. And so we've done a good job of hiring folks that have that background. And then you mentioned the transitioning military program. We're also starting to try to get vets into that program and really get them up to speed on the platform and train them along the way, as well as some different college new hires and things. But really just trying to build them up, transition some of that knowledge, and equip them with what they need to be successful. There's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of growth that's happening, and I'm excited to see where we go.
So you touched on it there. There's a real growth phase going on at Wholepoint Systems right now, and that's obviously going to lead into 2024 as we see an increasing demand across the board. Speaking to an audience of ServiceNow professionals, many of whom will already be in the federal space, or at least considering making that transition because of the niche nature of the work. If you were talking to a room of ServiceNow professionals and you want to encourage them to consider Wholepoint Systems over some of the other great companies out there hiring, what is it that you would tell them about the mission, the culture, the growth opportunity that would get people interested and excited to join Wholepoint Systems over some of the other great firms trying to hire?
Yeah, we have a great culture. We want to be the best at what we do. And so we look for like-minded individuals who are truly just trying to be their best. So if you want an environment where you're working alongside people who, know their stuff and can get stuff done, as well as people to learn from too. So there's a lot of opportunities just to learn and expand on your career from that perspective.
One thing I want to finish on, Gordon, because I think it will really help paint a more vivid picture of Wholepoint Systems. Wholepoint is already listed as a premier partner of ServiceNow, and that brings a lot of recognition and credibility. But Wholepoint is not just a partner of ServiceNow. You also work across a broader range of technologies and products. Can you talk about why being a premier partner with ServiceNow is important, how that helps you guys do what you do, but also the broader technology partnerships that you have as a business and how that incorporates a full suite of services?
So yeah, being a premier partner with ServiceNow is huge. In order to get that status, you have to meet some rigorous requirements in terms of certifications for your team members, as well as successful client delivery. So they track the different engagements and things that you do, and then they have some customer satisfaction surveys that go out. And so in order to keep and maintain that status, we need to do a good job. And I think that's something that we've done very well at. And you mentioned some of the other technology partners. So we take a real holistic approach towards our delivery. So we're not looking just to push ServiceNow or to try to put a square peg in a round hole. Really what we're after is providing the most holistic solutions to our customers. And so oftentimes that involves certain ServiceNow and some other platforms. We have a resale capability for a variety of different technologies that integrate well with ServiceNow and really provide a holistic kind of solution for our customers.
So Gordon, final question then, looking at 2024, obviously a lot to be excited about for Wholepoint Systems as a business, the ServiceNow community. I know in your own division, you're already planning to add to your talented team. Where are you going to look to strengthen? What type of people are you going to look for? And what can you tell us about the growth plans for Q1 of next year?
We're probably going to be looking to bring on another ServiceNow IRM architect and then maybe another developer or two. Really, we're just looking for folks that are motivated, who know IRM, who know ServiceNow, but at the same time, they're fun to work with. They're motivated to do their best, and they can integrate with a highly talented team. We want to be high achievers, and those are the types of folks that we look for here.
Amazing. Gordon, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. We really appreciate you sharing your story, your journey from practitioner to practice lead, an insight into Wholepoint Systems as a business who are very much a significant player in this ServiceNow community, and a lot of exciting growth for 2024. So we wish you, the team, and everyone at Wholepoint the best of luck in the year ahead, and we look forward to having you back on the show again in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.